There is only 11 days left of the Championship season and there's still 7 teams battling for survival and trying to avoid the drop down to League One. Before we get into this video today, guys, and before we talk about all of the teams involved, do make sure, of course, to share your opinions and your thoughts and your predictions down below, especially if you support one of these 7 teams. Please do make sure, of course, to hit that like button. We'll go for 229 likes on this one. And if you haven't already subscribed, do make sure to subscribe for more Championship content. Let's talk about all of the teams involved. As you can see, if you look at the table beside me here, there's just 7 points separating the bottom 7 in the Championship, and there's so much to play for. Obviously, Wigan Athletic with 2 games left can't catch up to 18th place Queen's Park Rangers, but all of these 7 teams involved can go down and still can stay up. Let's go through the teams one by one then, starting with Wigan Athletic. Now, Wigan Athletic, there's no two ways about it. They need to pick up 2 wins from 2 in their final 2 games. They've picked up 9 points in their last 6, which isn't terrible. They've kept it going into the final 2 days, and the best that Wigan can hope for is that they can keep it going into the final day. They obviously have been hit with a 3-point deduction, and that could be what just cost them come the end here, as they are only 4 points adrift at this moment in time. And their 2 remaining fixtures aren't impossible to win. They are against fellow teams in this relegation battle. Reading away is a massive game. As I say, it needs to be a win here for Wigan Athletic for them to go level on points with Reading going into that final day. And then Rotherham at home on the final day. It's very unlikely Wigan Athletic will be able to overtake Rotherham United because of the 6-point gap and the massive goal difference as well. Wigan just need to hope that they get 6 points, and they also need to rely on a couple of favours. With both Rotherham and Cardiff being 6 points ahead with much better goal difference, the only team realistically that Wigan can catch is Huddersfield, and Huddersfield are 4 points ahead. So Wigan can't afford for Huddersfield to go and pick up one more win, as that would seal Wigan Athletic's place. I do think Wigan Athletic have a chance of taking it to the final day. I do think it's not impossible for them to beat Reading, but they are relying on quite a few other results as well as their own to get above that dotted line on the final day. It might not seem likely that Wigan Athletic can survive, but it's also not impossible at this moment in time. The next team are Blackpool. Blackpool are 1 point better off than Wigan Athletic and have 2 games against teams in the playoff race, but also are out of form. Millwall at home has to be a win for Blackpool, as they also need to go for 6 points to have any credible chance of getting over the dotted line this season. And then Norwich City away could be tricky, but with Norwich's current form, Blackpool might fancy their chances if they can take it to the final day. They'll also be relying on a few other results. Their goal difference isn't very good, with it being at -24. They've picked up 6 points in their last 6, which is just a point per game. They need 6 points from their final 2 to stand any chance of getting over the line. As I say, they're relying on a couple of results, but with Blackpool being 1 point better off than Wigan Athletic, I do think they have a slightly better chance because they can actually reach more teams. They could catch up to Queen's Park Rangers if QPR lose 2 games out of 2. If Rotherham and Cardiff lose their final games, then Blackpool could catch up with them as well, so long as they don't pick up another point, because the goal difference is much stronger than Blackpool's. Blackpool, as I say, need to get 2 wins out of 2. Once again, it might not seem likely, but it's not impossible. Next up in 22nd place, you've got Reading. Now, Reading have been hit with a 6-point deduction this season, and that is why they are in the bottom 3. They would be on 49 points with those 6 points added back on, and it does show what difference that does make. Reading have only picked up 4 points in their last 6 games, which is under a point per game, but they have changed the manager, and since then they've put in some better performances, getting draws against Burnley and Luton and narrowly losing to Coventry. They do need to go for wins though, and they have got more favourable fixtures coming here with Wigan Athletic at home and Huddersfield away. Once again, just like Wigan needing to beat Reading, Reading probably do need to beat Wigan. A draw against Wigan for Reading would probably mean it does go to the final day for them, but they would require a win at Huddersfield to stand any chance of getting over the line on that final day. A win against Wigan and they could be above that bottom 3 going into that game against Huddersfield, and maybe a draw in that one could be enough. I think 4 points might not be impossible here for Reading to get, and it might be enough. 47 points to survive. Let me know what you think down below. Next up in 21st place, you've got Huddersfield Town. Now, Huddersfield do have 3 games remaining, and they're quite interesting fixtures. Huddersfield are in the best form out of this current bottom 7 with 11 points from their last 6, which is nearly 2 points per game. They do have difficult games coming. Cardiff away is a massive 6-pointer. Sheffield United at home will be a massive match as well, but Sheffield United might not have much to play for going into that one, so Huddersfield might fancy their chances. And then Reading at home home on the final day. That could be a nerve-jangling one if Huddersfield haven't crossed the line going into that one. As I said about 47 points possibly being enough to help you survive this season, that means Huddersfield probably only need one more win out of the 3. It is worth pointing out though how close the goal difference is between Reading and Huddersfield. Only one goal difference separating the two of them at the moment. So that final day game could be crazy if there's no more than 3 points separating them going into it. I do think Huddersfield will cross the line given their good form and the fact that Neil Warnock knows this division, but it is still going to be close here for Huddersfield. If they fail to pick up any wins in the next 2, then it's definitely going to be going to the final day for Huddersfield Town. Next up, you've got Cardiff City. They have 3 games remaining. The first 2 are massive against Rotherham and Huddersfield, and then Burnley away on the final day. Cardiff will be hoping they've crossed the line going into that one. Cardiff come into this with 7 points from their last 6 games, which is just above a point per game. 3 more points from the final 3 would get them to 49 points. As I say, I think 47 could be enough this year. 48 really should be. In my opinion, with both Cardiff and Rotherham being on 46 points at this moment in time, and both playing each other in their next match, I think if they were to shake hands and play out a draw in that one, that could be enough to push them both just a little bit closer to safety. A defeat in that game could be a disaster for either. As I say, the Huddersfield game is massive for Cardiff as well. I just think they need to make sure they don't lose that game. In all honesty, I think if Cardiff just draw their next 2, I think they'll be fine going into that Burnley game. Rotherham United are in a similar position to Cardiff here. 46 points with 3 games to go. They do have a slightly better goal difference, which could be crucial if it comes down to these 2 being the teams that are separated down there at the bottom. As I say, their next game is Cardiff City at home, the rearranged game. Cardiff City might be coming for 3 points, especially after what happened in the game before it was abandoned, but I do think a draw would suit both. After that, Rotherham do have Middlesbrough at home, who might not actually be playing for anything, so Rotherham might be able to pick up a draw or maybe a win there, and then Wigan Athletic on the final day. As I say, Wigan Athletic can't catch up to Rotherham, so it won't be so much of a shootout as the Reading Huddersfield game could be. I'm going to say the same here for Rotherham as I did for Cardiff. 2 points from the final 3, and I think they do get over the line this season. I think you'd be desperately unlucky to go down with 48 points this year. I think Rotherham are nearly there. They've picked up 1 point per game from their final 6. I think 2 points from their final 3 should be enough. And then in 18th place, you have Queen's Park Rangers. QPR have shot up this table with that win at Burnley. It was such a massive result, and especially with a draw against Norwich just before that, QPR have given themselves a massive chance of surviving here. I do think 1 more point will be enough here for QPR, even though 3 more points will get them mathematically over the line this weekend. QPR, I do think, will do it. I think they probably will win one of these final 2. They might win both of them now that the pressure is off QPR. QPR fans, share your thoughts down below. I think you're going to be all right this season. I think you've just done enough. 1 more draw might just help you crawl over the line. So then, guys, that is each and every one of the teams in this Championship relegation battle as we go into the final few days. Do let me know your opinions down below. Which teams are you predicting to go down at this moment in time? I do think Wigan Athletic are going to struggle to get what they need to get over the line. Blackpool, it's not impossible, but they do need 2 wins out of 2 and also need a few favours. I think Reading have got a fighting chance. I do like Huddersfield's good form, but I also think Cardiff, Rotherham and QPR are going to stay up. So in my opinion, I do think it could come down to a shootout between Reading and Huddersfield, despite me thinking they both might just be able to get over the line. It's going to be close. 3 teams are going down, but which 3 do you think it's going to be? Do make sure to drop a like and subscribe and share your thoughts down below. As I say, I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.